It is Talking Reds. It's Neil Atkinson with John Gibbons on this Wednesday afternoon as we build up to Liverpool's game at Napoli. Liverpool's first Champions League game of the season. It was nice to see Shakhtar do well last night for obvious reasons. Must be very difficult for them. And yet they've all pulled together. I remember when clever people, and I'm talking about Mr. Phil Blundell, were saying to me that the team you want to get in your group is Shakhtar. I reckon there's the Leipzig equivalent of Phil Blundell, John, and he's laughing that prick on the other side of his face right now. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good result for them. I didn't watch any of the games last night, but just sort of, followed the results a little bit. City struggling on, I see.
Limping on, John, some would say.
Yeah, exactly. And then, obviously, the Chelsea one, which was too much for the Tuchel.
It's had ramifications.
To not team your head off too much.
Yeah, no, there's honestly, the couple of people already saying in the comments late won this, and there's a couple of reasons why, but I'm glad in the end, because if we'd have gone live at 10 o'clock, we'd have either missed the Tuchel or it would have happened live, and I don't think I'd have been able to keep my shit together.
You wouldn't have believed them in the comments saying the
coming
Tuchel's
after
gone.
Absolutely not. No one's going to do that to me. I am now Tuchelless, John. Firstly, do you think we can get him to work for us? Because I think that'd be great. So if anyone's got any contact details for the Tuchel, feel as though you want to get involved. We don't want him too intimately involved in it. I don't want him coming in the office every day. If 2 or 3 days a week max, I don't want him stressing people out. He's my favourite manager. That's not the same as me thinking he's the best one or the one that I would want to manage Liverpool. But my God, the league will be less of a laugh without the Tuchel, I'm saying. Yeah,
I think it's funny, isn't it? Because the reasons you've just suggested why you don't want him in here every day, and maybe how the owners of Chelsea feel that he's just sort of done their heads in, and people, look at these from the outside and say, "Oh, can't believe this" and stuff like that.
I can believe it.
Yeah, I can. I reckon he's just burnt them out that much. They've gone, "Oh, fuck off. Can anyone pay to get rid of him?" Oh shit, I can.
Yep. And I love paying for things. The fella who pays for things at Chelsea loves paying for things.
Yeah, it is, and yeah, moving fast already. Apparently Brighton have given permission to speak to Potter, which is maybe just being nice. Go and have a chat, see what they got to say. Maybe, see what fucking mad money they're throwing around and shit. Maybe it's information gathering on Brighton's behalf.
It could be, but Potter with Chelsea would feel interesting. It'd feel dangerous. I'm not going to lie to you.
I think I saw someone tweet before that it's almost a bit of a shame because we don't get to see what Brighton would have done this season, and I think that is right.
Massively agree.
That is sort of right. I think it was Miguel Delaney who tweeted that, and I could see that. But I think it's, that's not, for Potter, you might be thinking, well, if this is an opportunity, is this be one? You know what I mean? You could be hot and not. I remember when Kerberstreak was linked with the Liverpool job, for example.
Well, if it's not this, the problem he has is Arteta looks pretty ensconced, Conte looks pretty ensconced, Klopp looks pretty ensconced, Ten Hag has to be pretty ensconced, one would have thought. That leaves Chelsea and it leaves Manchester City. Now, Guardiola's contract is a thing of mild fascination to me, but you don't quite see Potter at Manchester City, maybe.
No.
So it does feel like if it's not this one, then what is it?
Yeah, I think that is fair, and so you understand if he would go for it, though it would be sort of a little bit of a shame for the Brighton project, but they'll find someone else.
Well, maybe the Tuchel.
That'd be good. A job swap.
He'd be fucking great at Brighton, Oh, imagine
I think he'd like the place. Yeah. It might, chill him out a bit as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Long walks on the sea.
Yep. The prom.
Yeah.
Benny. There are other things.
Green Party MP. Get him. I'm not saying he doesn't recycle, but getting him doing it more. Yeah. Thinking about the environment.
Enjoying the moments of it a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Excellent nightlife.
Yeah. So I mean that'd be good. Maybe who sorts this?
Yeah. How do we get the Tuchel Brothers burgers? Because that would be a deal breaker for them. The best burger in the country, ladies and gentlemen. It exists in Brighton, whether we all like it or not. But behind you, that could keep Potter there. Potter might say, "Well, will you franchise a branch of Brothers?" And then we'll go from there.
Or at least, fly one in.
Fly one in for me, Todd.
Yeah, I've got rid of that Green Party MP now. I don't have to worry about it.
No, you're mad weirdo, Todd. Fly one in. You love capitalism, Todd. Absolutely loves capitalism. There's a lot of chatter, Todd, on Tour Unwrapped, as unlikely as it may seem as a segue, but it's true. It's an excellent Tour Unwrapped. It's one of our audio shows that you can subscribe to listen to. It's discussing, in general, the transfer market and money spent. It involves Dan Austin, Phil Blundell, Ian Salmon, and halfway through, Rory Smith from the New York Times. Really, really very good indeed. One of them where I didn't really do as much agenda as I'd have liked, but they came through for me. Do you know when that happens on a show? We were busy yesterday, I'll point out.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, it's a good room. And a good virtual room halfway through as well, so I'm really looking forward to listening to that. And it is an interesting thing, the relentlessness of the Premier League being, just able to cope with anything the world throws. It's recession-proof.
Yep.
It's COVID-proof.
Yep.
It's Russia-proof.
You name it.
Yeah, whatever. There'll be a meteorite hit the world next summer, and Chelsea will still spend £80 million on a fullback.
And no one will know why. And there he'll be. They'll have a really good one coming through the youth ranks as well. One that's been hotly touted, been on loan 3 times, be one player of the year in the Championship or something.
Yeah, just pick him.
In the comments, Matty Boxstock's message is retracted, which has got my attention, Matty. What everyone else is saying, it's neither here nor there, really. It's mildly interesting. Thanks for making the comments. I am reading them as they're going. But what was this retracted message from Matty Boxstock?
Maybe said Tuchel's been sacked, you know, and then realised we've been talking about it for 5 minutes.
It's gone on. We've gone from there. Coming up is a clip from Team Talk, which was with Josh Sexton, Fuad Hassan and me yesterday. I'm sitting really weirdly. You know, they use different chairs for Team Talk.
Have you not quite found your groove in that chair yet?
Awful. I watched the video back and I'm basically just hanging onto the arm like you know, like I'm on Nemesis, to be quite honest with you.
What a rocky trade.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I ended up there. That could be the clip, and if it is, apologies in advance. I want you to know that I was fine and well.
Try and listen to what people are saying and not just concentrate on Neil.
Yeah,
hanging on for dear life.
Honestly, I look like I've got gout. It's all to come for Team Talk, and this is one of the things that people pay £10 a month for. When we get back, we'll talk about Napoli, we'll talk about Liverpool, we'll go through some of your comments as well, and we'll talk about this pile of books. There's a lot to look forward to, isn't there?
In this one, I think I'm with Neil in that Liverpool could benefit from maybe just throwing a bit of a mad one in there. And now I thought that at the weekend against Everton, and it doesn't sort of transpire in the way you'd hope in terms of playing Carvalho and Elliott in midfield. The one thing I potentially disagree with Neil on is that the Fabinho thing. If you were looking to pull Fabinho out of the side, I don't know if Jurgen Klopp would be against necessarily playing Thiago and Artur together, which I think would be one of the maddest things he could do with his midfield, but you could see the sort of merits of it in a way.
Yeah, you could, and I think what sort of helps in terms of throwing in that mad option is the fact that, you know, we've never gone to Napoli, or we've never played against them with so many options in the front line and being able to change things as well later on in that sense. And I think, you know, Liverpool can, I don't know, I was starting to think we were building a bit of a foundation, or the plan maybe was, you know, you'd have the likes of Diaz who goes and gives you, you know, 90 minutes worth in 60, and you then have the subs where the quality doesn't really drop off too much, and you can go and sort of nick a goal or nick a game in situations like that where the opposition are a bit tired. And I think this time Napoli will have that extra dynamic to think about, because, you know, Liverpool haven't had that before in terms of the front threes that have gone there, the attacking players. And I think the midfield thing is interesting, because in that first game, Liverpool were not in control of it. You know, if you look at the stats and the midfield, you see that midfield and you can sort of see how that makes sense. And I think, you know, this time, you know, the two players you mentioned there, Artur and Thiago, you know, even if both aren't at 100%, you're still going to see two players who know what to do with the ball and will make very sensible decisions on the ball, you know, most of the time. And I think that's the big difference there. I think Liverpool will be able to, you know, have a control in a slightly different way, maybe not in a traditional Liverpool way, but in a slightly different way. And then and if it is a bit of a drab, you know, Inter Milan-like affair till later on, I back the options we now have for going forward, you know, and these are players as well who need minutes. You know, Diogo Jota needs the minutes. If he doesn't start, I'd still like him to get on there, and so would he, because he, you know, he wants to claim one of those starting front spots. So I think that dynamic changes things a little bit for us, and I hope that's what gets us, you know, a little kind of smash and grab 1-0 or 2-1.
Alright, the Reds, to enjoy the rest of this video as well as all of our premium content, just click on the join button below and join our YouTube membership. You'll get all of our exclusive content, including our match previews, our post-match reaction, our exclusive interviews, and all the transfer chat about who is coming in and out. So yeah, share the journey with us, supporting Liverpool from the heart of the city. We're home, we're away. Come and share it with us. Up the Reds.
Got over those rickets fast anyway. John Gibbons here with me. I am Neil Atkinson. After that video there, you were saying they went kind with the way they shot me there, were they? You know?
No. I think a few people have got to hold hands up there. Do you know what I mean? Over positioning, selection of chairs.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck you've been doing
honestly,
before going into that room.
Honestly, I look like Andre the Giant on a 1970s talk show. It's a ridiculous state of affairs. But anyway, I've just interviewed the woman who wrote this book, John, Carrie Dunn, for an insert that'll be in Tour Live and for an extended conversation that'll come out next week. and you are speaking to Carrie at a live event in Liverpool next Thursday.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's at Waterstones in Liverpool 1. Obviously a really nice space. I've done a couple of book events there, and this one I'm really
Book John, they call them.
Well, something like that. Well, I did one a month or so ago and I really liked it. And I was like, if you've got any more, come in. Can't get anyone else. Give me a shout. And they did. And a brilliant book it was as well, because it could have been fucking anything, the way I'd sold myself. Yeah, but no, I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm looking forward to hearing you talk to about it as well. Not least to steal all your best points. But I will have my own as well. So come down next Thursday. If you go into the Waterstones social media or website, there's links available for tickets, very reasonably priced to come in here. Me speak to Carrie about this book. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, Unsuitable for Females, I did like it. I liked it a great deal, actually. Series of individual pen, not individual, they do become a bit more collectible pen portraits of women who've been part of pioneering what's happened with women's football in England since the 1860s in there. I am doing something, and Jordan, I meant to say to you beforehand, if we can clip this bit, that'd be useful. I am doing something at the Reader. I do some bits and pieces with the Reader, and I'm very privileged to be part of what they do there. They have a Gravity Festival, a literary festival, every single year, and it's out of Calderstones Park. And I'm doing something with Pranav Sood, where we're interviewing Roosevelt Montas, who wrote this book called Rescuing Socrates, and it's about the importance of great literature and how it impacts upon people's lives and consciousnesses, and how it still has a place in modern society. And we will be doing that on the 2nd of October. So if you go onto the Reader's website, look at the Gravity Festival there, you can buy tickets for that. Me and Pranav interviewing Roosevelt. I'm really looking forward to it. I've been meaning to do this video for a while. Excited about that. So we'll clip this bit and then we'll put it out as a separate bit as well, so that the Reader can share it all the way through. And I received this a couple of days ago. We put a nice note on it, by the way.
Roosevelt's a great name, by the way.
It's a great first name, isn't it? One of the great ones. So yeah, I got this through the post. Rory's book called Expected Goals, the story of how data conquered football and changed the game forever. And that's what it's about. And I don't know if it's good or not. I mean, I'm backing Rory. You backing Rory?
Yeah, he's one of the great writers of his generation. So yeah, if he can't throw a book together, who can? And Jonathan Wilson said nice things, and he can't be bought for anything.
He can't be bought for anything. Jonathan Wilson, absolute stand-up character all the way through. No one else has said anything nice though, John. I mean, I don't want to raise concern points.
Maybe he wants to go Jonathan before, that'll do.
Yes, indeed.
Well, who else do you need?
Yeah, you know, absolutely. Rory's talked to me a lot about this book. I am really excited to read it. It will be the absolute business. Do pick up a copy of it if you can. And obviously what we've just done with Carrie, we will do for Rory. But I can only read one book at a time, Rory. So if that one's out the way now, the Carrie one, I've got the Roosevelt one to come, but I've already read some of that, Rory. So don't worry about it. We'll get to yours. We'll have it sorted in the next couple of weeks, and then that'll be really good content for the firm. Looking forward to it. Yeah, be the business. Promise you on that. So, want to let you into a secret. Doesn't matter that much if Liverpool win or lose tonight. That's why we've not really front-loaded this with Napoli versus Liverpool. You may normally think, my God, they should have talked about that by now rather than the Touche or anything else like that. It is much more important that Liverpool get a result against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, that's not to say, John, it's all right for Liverpool to be rubbish or anything like that. What it actually is, I'm really looking forward to tonight. I'm actually looking forward to having a pint, relaxing and watching Liverpool, and not e.g. dropping to my knees when offside goals are disallowed, as I did at the Merseyside derby, in sheer relief. I'm looking forward to not feeling as though they are wringing my heart with their bare hands. I'm looking forward to not feeling as though I'm being punched repeatedly in the face, at least for the first 45 minutes. I hope Liverpool are able to play, not necessarily with freedom, but with the idea that, listen, it's the Champions League group game, it's an away at Napoli. We could play our best 11 and they could play pretty well and still not win, because that's the nature of away at Napoli. I am genuinely looking forward to it in the way in which you can relax with this one a little bit more than you can with many others.
No, it's not exactly a free hit, because there's 6 games, and you know there's benefits obviously to getting off to a good start. But we've gone through in Champions League groups by not winning any of our away games. I think the year we won it, actually we didn't win any.
Got beat 2-0 at Red Star.
Yeah, exactly. And so you know, it's 6 games and there's two go through, and whatever happens tonight, you'd fancy Liverpool to do that. So that just takes a little bit of the edge off, doesn't it? It's not a must win. It's not one of those where, you know, it's a disaster sort of if they get beat tonight. And that's not to say, as you say, when me and you are watching it tonight, and you know, we're not going to be fully invested, but it does take as you say, that little bit of edge off. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's good that there's a few more options. So Diogo Jota comes off the bench against Everton and looks really bright. So he's sort of in there. Bobby Firmino gets a bit of a rest. We get half a rest, doesn't he? So he's in contention for the start. Obviously, it's Nunes, what you sort of decide to do with him. And then midfield, does he throw Thiago straight back in? He suggested that Arthur, he doesn't really want to sort of start him yet, but that gives you the option of, well, why not Thiago for 60, Arthur for 30, which is just boss. What a footballer they are together, and how exciting it would be to see Thiago, back in the team, but also, to see this Thiago light, as he's been called for half an hour, and to sort of see what that's about, really. So there's intrigue in the team. There's enough to sort of look forward to, and we'll see. And apparently it's an exciting Napoli team as well, a young team.
This Georgian lad is meant to be like fascinating and riveting to watch, because he's not come through an academisation process. He's just a footballer, if you know what I mean, in a way that you don't get these days for a variety of reasons. So he's meant to be really exciting. I'm intrigued to see what he's about, John.
Yeah, so it should be good. And like you say, no real reason. I mean, to completely lose our heads if we lose. I mean, someone will manage, as these sorts of always do. But I think, if we can put in a good performance, get off to a win, then brilliant, we're in a great position in the group. If not, then it was a home game against us. A draw is a good result. I would take right now, I was going to say bite your hand off, I wouldn't go that extreme, but I'd take right now if someone said, good performance on a draw, maybe 2-2 or something, and some nice goals from us as well. I think that'd be completely fine.
I really think that, I'd take a 0-0. I think building on the first clean sheet against Everton, I think getting a run of clean sheets would be no bad thing. But you can make an argument to 3-3, firstly, because it'd be fun. But secondly, also because it means that some lads have stuck the ball in the back of the net, and that's also fun as well. I would take any draw that you cared to give me before the ball's kicked tonight. So that's sort of my outlook. It's interesting with the team. I wouldn't be averse to them. I think it's interesting that the 5 subs thing, I think it opens up the idea he can even do a couple at half-time. And then it's a normalish second half for his subs. And it means even then he can do them in ones, do you know what I mean? Because that's one of the issues at the minute, you've got to use them. So I wouldn't, you could do 45, Thiago and Artur. That would make a ton of sense to me. You could do 45 with something at right back. You could do 45, Trent and Virgil. He could have the idea that he starts with one, goes 45 minutes and then brings the other on and moves Gomez accordingly and starts Matip. There's loads of... The thing with 5 subs is it does give him sort of creativity, and I don't think there's much wiggle room now at home against Wolves, and another reason to be frustrated is away against Chelsea, because I was thinking we were going to go there and win with the Tuchel's current issues. But regardless, that's his, those are the 2 games that matter in the next 2. As long as Liverpool manage to pick up at least 3 points from Champions League games, from the 2 Champions League games, the priority is those 2 league games. And for me, tonight is about building towards Saturday, which will come round very quickly.
Yeah, we're not in awful nick in the league, are we, in terms of position and points behind, and that's partly through fortune. If we're honest with you, the City could be absolutely sort of flying at the moment. The fact that they've, dropped points in 2 games just means that we're not in sort of a job position. Everyone's looking fallible. There's some teams, obviously, towards the top who look a little bit better than what they did last season, and so you could argue a little bit more of a threat to Liverpool if we don't have the kind of season that we want. But the fact that there's no one running away with it, the fact that, we are still by a little bit of luck sort of in contention, means that, if we can sort of turn it around a little bit quicker than what's maybe sort of looking at the moment, then, and go on a good run, then there's an opportunity to shoot up the table and really put ourselves in amongst it. So Wolves is massive, Chelsea after that, and then but bring it on.
Did you read my email yesterday?
I haven't. I've been off work for a couple of days, haven't I? So I have tried to sort of be not.
You get to tune out.
Yeah, I've tuned. I was very out of tune.
Diogo Jota last season scored 15 league goals.
I did read it. I've just told a lie. It was fascinating, Neil. These big goals that he's got, equalises. I did read it.
Yep.
See, I'm shit at tuning out, honestly.
One of the worst tuners out of his generation. Diogo Jota scored 15 league goals last season, and 4 of them were when Liverpool were losing, and 6 or 7 of them were when 7 of them, I think it was, were when Liverpool were drawing. Game-breaking goals is what Diogo Jota did. They're just the league ones. That doesn't take into account what he did in key moments for Liverpool in the cup competitions last season as well. Liverpool missed Diogo Jota, we really do, and he was especially important to us August through until March, when actually at times we weren't playing all that well, especially in the early part of the season. He hung in there. I want to see Jota start tonight, and then I'd like to see him start against Wolves, and then I'd like to see him continue to start one way or another, because for me, John, the big thing that this team hasn't got to enjoy, other than one game where it couldn't have enjoyed it anymore, has been being ahead in a football match. And I think that that's when a lot of what you're trying to do as a football team makes more sense. When you're ahead in a game is when you get to relax, when you get to show what you're about, and then when you get to build the sort of team you want to be. And I think Jota is Liverpool's pathway at the moment to getting ahead in football matches.
Yeah, I think that's fair, but I think also what he does as well with his versatility, he allows us to sort of play in different ways and so to approach it. So do we want sort of left side, that side Jota? Do we want centre forward Jota? I don't think we want to see loads of him on the right hand side, but we can look at it. So far, it feels like every game of the season, it's like, well, who has to play up front and who do we need to sort of get on there? Whereas Jota, you know, not just by being an extra body coming back, but also because of his range of skills, also because of the way he plays. We'll just allow the managers to think about it a little bit more, actually go, what kind of backline are they? How do we want to approach this game? How can we use that? And so many of those questions, you know, can be sort of answered in a Diogo Jota well. Also, you know, give it maybe a couple of lads a rest, you know what I mean? Like Luis Diaz has started the season pretty well. We don't want to run him into the ground.
No, I wouldn't start Diaz tonight.
And so you know, let's have a bit of Diaz off the bench. Remember how good that was? Do you remember how much he sort of terrified people, especially sort of in a game like this? And so I'm really excited he's back. I think the manager will be absolutely made up his back. He's great. He came back with a bang because that didn't happen after the last injury sort of last season. You know, I'm sure there was circumstances around that, maybe rush back or whatever, I don't know. But it looks like he's flying at the moment, and that's great.
GLFC says, come on lads, surely you want the Reds to win, build some confidence. I mean, we want the Reds to win. It's more the idea that Liverpool can afford not to win. It's this idea, and I think this is one of my main things, John, is that we kick off we feel like we kick off 1-0 down recently because we know we need to win, if you know what I mean. So games that are 0-0, we don't quite seem right in them for long periods of time. When we get a game back level, we've looked a little bit edgy and nervy. The decision making's not been great. You know, we should win at Fulham. We've been crap for a half, but we should win. We get back to 1-1, and then within 3 minutes we give the daft pen away. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think the good thing about tonight, and this is what I mean when I'm talking about being quite relaxed about it, I want them to be relaxed about it as well. It kicks off 0-0, and if the final whistle goes at 0-0, we all get to shake hands and say well played. Whereas in 37 of our 38 league games, it feels like, and even last season with City when it finished 2-2, because of the time of the season that it came, it feels like every single time we kick off, Liverpool needs a goal. We basically, I think, we play football at times like the scoreline is opposition 0, Liverpool -1.
Yeah, and I wonder why that is. I mean, maybe it's the pressure of needing every point. Maybe it's the pressure of, you know, the fact that we are sort of chasing now, or we know what a league winning sort of season looks like, and also one where you can get 90 odd points and not win it. So there'll be a combination of all that. But I do think, you know, maybe it's the style of wins so far this season as well. There's been the 9-0 sort of blowout, and then there's Newcastle, which is an amazing release at the end, but we don't get to sit there in a game and go, oh, we're in control of this, and then just sort of enjoy their playing. So almost the best type of win for Liverpool tonight will be, you know, maybe a 2-0 when we score once in the first half, once in the second half.
I'd kill for that.
Once in the first half, once in the second half, and we're just the better team throughout, and that's why we win the game.
Yeah, we score in the 18th minute, maybe even be from a set piece. Ball comes into the box, someone heads it home, and then not much happens. And then what happens, the second half kicks off, and we score in the 55th minute, and then not much happens, and everyone went, Liverpool in the game.
Yeah.
And they were always winning the game. The game was theirs to win, and they won it. That's my dream win.
And we're well capable of doing it.
Yeah, I'd take that well ahead of like a mad 4-2 or something, in all seriousness. I genuinely would take that well ahead of that. Listen, I don't think we're going to get beat. Genuinely, I don't think we're going to get beat, and that's fine.
We'll see. All results are possible. All results are possible in every game, aren't they? But I think, like, you know, it has been tough for many Liverpool teams, you know, many of the in-close Liverpool teams to go to Napoli. We need to sort of recognise that, you know, the atmosphere is going to be hot, and we'll just see. We'll see how Liverpool deal with it. But
absolutely.
we don't need to panic.
I didn't need to panic. What I've realised is that John's speaking to Pete Selby at 2 p.m. It's now 2:05. Sorry, Pete. John's got a legitimate excuse. You can watch it back. It's Talking Reds Live. It's Neil Atkinson. It's John Gibbons. Download the app of the Anfield Wrap. Enjoy everything that's on there. Check out that tour unwrapped. Check out the conversation with Carrie that's coming as well. It's as ever been a pleasure. Enjoy the game tonight. You get to enjoy this, and you get to enjoy this one. See you later.